So this week we are getting into multi-threading. We'll be working with threads and tasks and asynchronous processing. As far as the reading assignment goes, you are going to go through all of chapter 23 and only the part of chapter 24 that deals with async and await. Because that is the important part that you are actually going to be working with in future courses. When we get into various frameworks where Visual Studio generates code for us, uh, quite a bit of the code is going to utilize async and await. So it's pretty important that you guys understand it. Otherwise, you will feel a bit lost. So uh, the information that we are covering this week, you are going to be seeing over and over again in upcoming courses. So that's the reading assignment. You will go through each lecture demo. The examples in the lecture demo are different than the book. So I think that between the two, you guys will have a pretty good feel for what multi-threading is in a C# programming environment. Okay, so you'll go through the graphical applications, multi-threading, and then you'll also go through asynchronous operations. Once you finish both of those, you're going to work on your lab assignment. And as far as the hands-on exercises from the book, I want you to do the ones in chapter 23. And for that last one, you can stop at page 590. There is a little bit of an issue with exception handling that is resolved or somewhat resolved in chapter 24, although I ran into it in chapter 24 as well. In the chapter 24, I believe, exception handling, and the chapter 23, I actually have examples that show you how to handle exceptions. So look through the lecture demos because the exception handling in those programs is working properly. As far as chapter 24, you don't have to do those hands-on exercises. Okay. And obviously, there's nothing to turn in since the hands-on exercises all give you the answer key. But super useful to go through the ones in chapter 23 because it's dealing with a UWP graphic. And graphics are CPU intensive, and those are the perfect applications to utilize multi-threading. Okay, and then you have some additional exercises. You'll work with threads, you'll work with tasks, and then the last exercise has you working with await and async. Okay, so you will get some practice applying what you have learned this week. Okay, and I do have a video for this as well that will be posted as soon as I'm done with this video that I'm making right now. Okay, so you will add the links to your repo to the Dropbox. And I do have some resources, so hold on a second. All right, that's better. I added quite a few resources here because this is a more complex topic. And if you do have any questions or maybe there's something you're fuzzy about, I tried to give you guys resources that you could look up. Also, a lot of the examples utilize what's called a stopwatch class, which is built into C#. So you can actually measure the time that has elapsed, which is kind of cool. So I've also got a link to that as well. If you have any questions or run into problems this week, please let me know and have an awesome week.